Hello, welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's live discussion. EOE's AMA. How many other acronyms can I come up with? I don't know. But how's it going? I wanted to call this stream like shoot the shit, but I was worried that like YouTube doesn't like swear words in the titles of their videos. Like I could try to like censor the word shit, but I feel like they still wouldn't like it. And then we see Brandon in the chat. Hi, Brandon. How's it going tonight? So, anyone, please feel free to jump in anytime and ask questions, suggest topics, that sort of thing. Otherwise, not sure I'll have that much to talk about. So I'm here at your command. Hopefully, and then there's Tyler. Hey, Tyler, how's it going? Yep, and Brandon's not bad. That's good. So, I'll talk about a few shows that I finished watching. I guess I'll start with Yellow Jackets. No spoilers. Don't worry for those who haven't seen it. But hey, and Aaron in the chat. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? But I don't know if you saw my sister. She on her Facebook page, she posted her thoughts on Yellow Jackets, and she said that she thought it was the best season of the show, and loved it. I think gave it a 9 out of 10 if my recollection holds. Command. What do you mean command? I don't know. Am I commanding someone? Did I say that? I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, so she thought it was the best season of the show. And so this is an instance where our opinions will vary very differently. So Tyler saw it. Okay. He saw Yellow Jackets season 3. So yeah, this is a point where our opinions are not aligned. Because I didn't care for it that much. And here's the thing. Like, I wouldn't say that it's worse than the previous seasons. I'll just say it's kind of a cumulative effect where I think that the show just took too long to get to the fucking point and I lost interest. And it seemed to me with the modern day storyline, they're just finding ways to keep it going and they're trying to reset because the modern day storyline season 2 like kind of went off the rails and sucked and they're trying to like reset things and set a new storyline, and they had the reveal in the finale that I just thought was didn't care for it, and I just wasn't interested in the whole modern day storyline. And with the past storyline, the 90s storyline, I lost interest in that as well because they took too long to get to the fucking point. Like, they finally went full circle in the finale, but it took them long enough. And and plus the pacing was off in that finale. Like, again, I'm trying not to give spoilers away, but they did like a time jump from summer to winter, like all of a sudden. And I felt like very jarred and disjointed from that time jump. And I was just like, it's like the pacing was off because they were going too slow, and all of a sudden, boom, go to the future. I was like, whoa, that is not good pacing. And so, there were some like twists and turns this season, which I didn't see coming, but I was like, I don't know. I kind of, plus, especially when we get to the modern day storyline, I do not care like about any of the characters, like at all. Like, they're just all like terrible people, and they're starting to annoy me just seeing them. And when I think some of them might be interesting or redeemable, they make it so they're not redeemable, and so I just hate them all. Like, I think they're all just insane. And I don't really care what happens to them anymore. I don't know. I just lost interest in the show. That's just me. Obviously, People. Oh, did I say here at your command? Oh, that's what I said. Okay. Yeah, I'm at your command. I am serious. You command me to answer questions, and I will, but nothing else. Um, Tyler's saying he saw what Alyssa posted about it, hasn't actually seen the show. Okay. So what's the serialized season of Star Trek with the second worst pacing? Picard season 2 is the worst. I don't know if I'd even say Picard season 2 is the worst. It's just, well, maybe it's just the worst season overall. Like pacing is kind of irrelevant. It just sucks. It's got to be something at Discovery. Probably Discovery season 3. Yeah, pretty much all the season, all the first 3 seasons of Discovery all had really bad pacing. Season 4 had some bad pacing in it, some good pacing. It was kind of disjointed. Season 5 easily had the best pacing of the show. So yeah, I think the 3 seasons of Discovery take the first 3 take the cake on worst pacing. And Tyler's saying the only season I had a problem with the pacing is Discovery season 4. I wasn't happy about how long it took them to go find species 10C. Yeah, I don't know. Like that didn't. I don't know. That didn't really bother me that much. I didn't think it was as bad as the pacing of the first 3 seasons. And I think once they like got to the point and had that mid season episode where they had that huge argument, I think the pacing after that was pretty solid. Other than that stupid poker episode when they did wrestling, like that was stupid. But other than that, like I thought the pacing was pretty solid. Let's see. So yeah, what was I talking about though? I was talking about Yellow Jackets. So yeah, I'm pretty much finished talking about it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's yeah, I wasn't that impressed with it, and it's not because I like Alyssa. I keep track of the shows that I've watched this year so far, and I got a 5, a 6, a 7, and 3 10s. So so the 5 is what's it called? Skeleton Crew, which I actually had a huge, talking about bad pacing. I had huge issues with the finale. Like the finale pissed me the hell off. Like I thought I had the potential to be a really good show, and then it threw it away. And then Yellow Jackets was my 6, as I said, kind of over that show. And I'm still watching it. I'll probably still watch the next season too, just kind of out of curiosity and obligation. And then the 7 goes to Daredevil Born Again. And then the 3 10s are Silo Season 2, Severance Season 2, and Black Mirror Season 7. I don't watch White Lotus. I know Alyssa talked about that. I haven't seen any season of that. Maybe I'll give it a shot one time. And I'm in the middle of watching Wheel of Time season 3. I haven't finished it. I'm just 2 episodes in. And I'm not like super into this show. I never read the book, so I don't really remember it fairly well. I don't remember there's like shit ton of characters. And now Avasarala's in it. I didn't think she was in the earlier season. I'm pretty sure this is the first time she appeared, but I don't remember like any clear details of it, so I find it a little bit hard to follow, and I'm not that invested in it. I never was, to be honest, but it's somewhat interesting. Like it's interesting enough for me to want to keep watching. Let's see what Tyler's saying. Or no, let's see what Brandon's saying. Here's another Star Trek acronym for you, which really annoyed me, DMA. I didn't mind DMA. I thought that was fine. What did it stand? I can't remember what it stood for. I know it was anomaly was the A, but I can't remember what the first two were. Tyler also saying one video I'm considering requesting eventually is ranking the sexualized story arcs. It would include the seasons of Discovery and Picard to Dominion Takeover arc. Oh, sorry, he said serialized. That makes more sense. I don't know where the hell my head is tonight. that makes a hell of a lot more sense. Ranking the serialized story arcs, it would include the seasons, because I was thinking, like, how the hell are these sexualized? And I was like, oh, you're saying serialized. I need to clean my glasses again. But anyway, the serialized story arcs, it would include seasons of Discovery, Picard, Dominion, Takeover arc, and the final DS9 arc. I mean, yeah, I think the unfortunately legacy Trek arcs will be the highest. I think. Oh God, I don't know. It would be a toss up between the DS9 ones and the Enterprise one. They're all awesome, but the modern ones would be at the bottom. Maybe Discovery Season 5 would probably be the highest amongst the modern Trek ones. And I guess you're not counting Strange New Worlds, even though that's kind of serialized, but it's also kind of episodic. But it's not like flat out telling one story the way that those other ones you mentioned are. Let's see. Tyler really liked Skeleton Crew. Okay, well there you go. Tyler's a fan. And Brandon saying, I read up to the end of book 6 of The Wheel of Time in the 90s. I just found it too many plots and too much torture. Yeah, like after watching season 1 of the show, I was just like, how are they gonna, like, because I heard that there's a ridiculous amount of books and then like it stretches on forever. And I was like, but it seemed like a pretty finite story. And I'm like, how are they going to keep this going? And then I see now up to season 3, how they're just going to throw in more and more things. And I can see myself getting really tired of this as well. But I don't know. Tyler says, after I finished Discovery, I watched the short Trek Calypso. And then I was planning to get into the Star Wars show. I started with the Clone Wars. I didn't get into it. Yeah, Clone Wars, I kind of had to force myself to watch it. Like, especially the first like 3 seasons are they're very like, they're not episodic exactly, but they have arcs. They have like 2 or 3 episode arcs, and they follow different parts of the Clone Wars. And a lot of it I found kind of boring because it was essentially like, oh, let's go fight these droids on this world, and let's save this world from these droids. And I had no investment in those story arcs because I knew how the war ends, and I knew that the whole war was actually just a ruse for Palpatine to take over and turn it into the Empire. So the actual battle outcomes were kind of like irrelevant. And now there's like, it does have some character development along the way. I think it definitely picks up in the later seasons. The final season of the Clone Wars is one of my favorite seasons of Star Wars anything. Like the last 4 episodes of season 7, I think is one of the best Star Wars movies. If you can consider all 4 episodes together a movie, like that was fucking amazing. But yeah, I can see it's hard to get to. I actually prefer Rebels, and I know Alyssa does as well. Most people don't. I think Rebels is a better show. That's more straightforward. God, what was I thinking? There was an episode that I was just watching, Tyler, and I was thinking that I know what it was. It was the Deep Space Nine episode Facets, which I just watched for my review. I recorded my review. I haven't edited it yet. That'll be a couple weeks to a month or something before it goes up. I don't know if you've seen like all the Deep Space Nine episodes or you just watch shit at random. But I know that you're interested in stuff that references that modern track references. You want to see the origins of some things. And if you just watch Discovery season 5, they had an episode where they went to Trill and they did the Jantara where they wanted to get information from this, Trill symbiont that was around hundreds of years ago. So they did the Jantara where the particular host that they wanted to talk to went into the body of Dr. Colbert. That was a direct reference to what they did in the Deep Space Nine episode Facets, where Jadzia did a ceremony where she got to talk to her different past hosts. So I was just thinking, it made me think of you because I know you like to watch these legacy episodes that reference modern track. But so if you haven't seen Facets, I'd recommend that. So Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and then Rebels is chronological order, so that does make sense to be the order that you watch things. Brandon's saying I'd forgotten that was in Discovery. I did mention in my review. I was like, oh yeah, Discovery did this thing later on. But yeah, no, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and Rebels, like that that's a proper order. That's chronological. I'm not a fan of Bad Batch. I thought it was okay. Like, I just never really got into it. I think Rebels was much better, personally. Let's see. Let me go back. I missed a couple comments. Tyler saying, I started The Crown, which I've been loving. I'm on season 2. Have you seen it? Do you have any interest in seeing it? No and no. I have no interest in seeing that whatsoever. I'm not into those types of like British royalty. I couldn't give two shits about British royalty or the royals or whatever. I just have no interest whatsoever in watching that. What was this? Yeah, I might check out White Lotus because I've heard things about that. And I think there was another show. I was like, yeah, there's just too many shows. Like, I don't have time to like watch them all. A friend recommended Only Murders in the Building, but I don't really know if that's my speed. I don't really like these modern day comedies that much. Like, everyone's raving about Ted Lasso, and I was like, doesn't look interesting to me. I don't really know if I like these modern comedies. And my Apple Plus expired a couple days ago, so I don't have it anymore. So definitely not watching that. I watched this movie on Apple Plus though right before I got rid of it with George Clooney and Brad Pitt called Wolves. It was a pretty interesting movie. It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of black comedy, sort of trying to be a little bit like Pulp Fiction, sort of, but not really. It was more of mostly about. Well, it's based off of the character from Pulp Fiction. Like, that's very clear. Like, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, the character of the Wolf, who was played by Harvey Keitel, who was like the cleaner who came to clean up the mess. And that's where they got the title from, Wolves. It's not wolves with a V, it's wolves with a F. FS. But anyway, because it's supposed to be, there are two characters, Brad Pitt and George Clooney, both characters are like the wolf from Pulp Fiction, so they both do the same thing. They both like clean up messes or whatever, and they're forced to work together, and they hate each other, and they're like constantly like badgering each other. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed it, and I watched some YouTube video, had all sorts of theories about. I thought it was quite simplistic, but they had all these crazy theories about what was really going on, and it was more than meets the eye. And I was like, some of these theories, I'm like, you're overthinking it, but some of them I was like, nah, I think there's definitely something to it. And they said they're going to do a sequel, and I'd be interested to see that because maybe that would expand upon some of these theories. Because I didn't actually find the ending that clear exactly what's going on. That's why I went to YouTube to look for some videos that explain the ending. Anyway, that's a tangent. What else were you talking about? Brandon saying, I think there are 14 books in the God damn it in the Wheel of Time sequence. Don't quote me. The author died and got Brandon Sanderson to finish the last book or two. Yeah, I did hear. I remember hearing about that the author died before they could finish, but someone else finished it for them. George R.R. Martin has said that he's not going to do that. If he dies before Song of Ice and Fire is finished, he says he doesn't want anyone to finish. I hope he changes his mind, because I'm sorry, unless he lives to be 100, I think it's very clear that he's not going to live long enough. I know whenever someone approaches the subject, he gives them the middle finger. It's like, fuck you, I don't want to talk about it. But it's true. It's reality, mate. You got to face the facts. Like, you're taking this long to write the damn books, you're not going to be alive to finish them. Like, that's just facts. Like, you can put your middle finger up at it all you want. It's just fact. It's not going to change the truth. So you should fucking, like, I would love, my thing would be so ideal. You should get James S.A. Corey to finish the what is it? Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham, the authors of The Expanse, who he knows, he's friends with them. I think Ty Frank used to be his like assistant a long time ago. And they wrote the fucking Expanse, which is fucking amazing. Get them, like, have them finish the books. Say, put that in his will. I hope that he's just saying that because he doesn't want people thinking of his death. But I hope really he is going to allow people to finish it. Maybe it will be out of his hands. Maybe the publisher will have the rights to it and be like. But usually it's like the estate will do it. Maybe if they get permission from his estate. To allow someone else to finish it. Keep Dan and Dave all the fuck away from it. I think he knows better than to do that, though. What else have we got? I've watched every episode of Deep Space Nine. Oh, okay. All right. Was not aware of that. I watched season 1 in its entirety. Skipped over most of season 2 and then watched each episode of the later season. Skipped over most of season 2, then watched each episode of the later seasons. So you haven't seen all of season 2? Because you start out by saying you watched every episode of Deep Space Nine, but then you say you skipped over most of season 2. So did you go back and watch the rest of season 2? Or did you have seen every episode of Deep Space Nine except for season 2? It's just the way you worded it. I'm a bit confused on that. And how long ago did you see it? Was it somewhat recently? But yeah. I don't say. Did you know about the episode Facets though? Because you always talk about how you like watching these episodes that tie into Modern Track. I wonder if you knew about that one. But anyway, God, what was I talking about? Daredevil Born Again. I mentioned I watched that. So here's the thing with Daredevil Born Again. And I was a big fan of the Netflix series, but I hadn't seen it in years, so I didn't get like any specific reference. But from what I heard, and this might just be my misunderstanding or misreading of it, but I thought that they wrote Daredevil Born Again and went back and said, oh, this, the actors didn't really want to do it because it didn't honor the original series and it didn't have any of the characters other than Daredevil and Kingpin from the other series, and so that they were upset and didn't want to do it, and so they went back and they changed it and they rewrote it to be more in line with the Netflix series. But apparently that's not the case. And that's what I was expecting to be the case, because I remember them saying that I heard like originally the idea was to have 18 episodes in the season. And so they're obviously splitting that up. And that's obvious because this feels like half a season. It doesn't feel like a complete season. To be honest, like the whole season feels like a prologue. It feels like a setup for the next season, which is pretty frustrating. But the other thing is that, yeah, I thought that they had completely reworked it, because I heard that the studio was upset because Daredevil didn't even put on his uniform until like episode 6. Didn't actually wear the Daredevil costume until episode 6, and that it was mostly just like talking in the courtroom. And they're like, oh, they changed that. So I thought they had completely reworked it, but turns out that's not the case. Turns out that they actually filmed the first 6 episodes, and then the writer's strike and actor's strike happened. And when they came back from it, they fired the showrunners and got a different showrunner in, and they went and like filmed some scenes to put in the earlier episodes. Like they filmed a scene at the start of the episode, and then I think from what I hear they were up to episode 6, and then so the new showrunners filmed episode 7, 8, and 9. And completely reworked it, and you can fucking tell. You can tell that because they added some scenes at the start of the season, and then you don't really touch on it until the last 3 episodes of the season, or last 2 really, and so they touch back on it, so you can tell that like they inserted like the characters like Punisher and Foggy and Karen. And slight spoiler for the very first episode of Daredevil Born Again. If you haven't seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, skip ahead. But just for the first episode, which was revealed in the very first scene, so it's not like a spoiler for the end of the season. It's a spoiler that you'll see as soon as you watch the show. They kill off Foggy, and I was afraid of that would happen. And apparently they're like, oh, well, because the original idea, apparently he was killed off screen. And they're like, oh, no, this totally fixes it. And instead of waiting till episode 6 to see Daredevil in his costume, you see his costume in the very first scene of the season. And then you don't see him in his costume again until episode 6. I don't think that's much better, to be honest. Like, that doesn't really, it makes it a little better, but it doesn't fix the problem. And also, like, seeing Foggy die on screen is better than him dying off screen in between seasons, but it still sucks. Like, I understand, like, they'd already filmed the first 6 episodes, and Foggy's death was a very important aspect of Daredevil's character story, so they would have to completely refilm everything, and I get that they wouldn't want to do that, but yeah, this I think they should have scrapped everything. Like, I don't know. Well, at least they had Karen there. I guess at least they didn't kill her off. But and they brought the Punisher back. Apparently, John Bernthal didn't want to do the show originally with the original showrunners, but when they came in and fixed the problems, then he agreed to do it. This is what I heard. And I did think and you feel that disjointed. And okay, let me get another spoiler for the season. Again, you can mute yourself if you don't want to hear this spoiler. It's for a bit later in the season. But the character of Muse, it's very obvious that the original plan was to have Muse storyline go up until the end of the season. And that was the plan, that they were teasing him out to be this like master villain and great villain. But it's obvious to me because, as I said, like episode 6 is when Muse like first like really struck, and Daredevil put on his costume and fought Muse. And I get that after that, it was supposed to be like a 3-episode arc of Daredevil going face to face with Muse and facing off with him. But then when the new showrunners came in and took over and did totally different 3 episodes, like they just killed off Muse immediately. And instead went back to the storyline that they started at the start of the season with Bullseye and Kingpin and all them people, and then focused on that instead. And to be honest, like I prefer that, but it does seem really obvious that it does seem like they were setting up that new storyline for a long-term thing, instead just ended abruptly. Like, it's over. Which is really unsatisfying, and so it's a really disjointed season. But I like the direction. Like, I think had they not went in and changed it, it would have been way worse. Like, I agree with the studio's concerns about how it wouldn't work. Like, people wouldn't really like it, and so I like the changes that they made to it. It's just. And I know this would be unpractical if they already filmed 6 episodes. They couldn't, like, it would cost like millions of dollars to just scrap those episodes and start from scratch. But honestly, like, I think that's what they should have done because it felt too disjointed. But I think season 2 is going to be much better because they got the prologue, they got the setup out of the way, and now they have the new showrunners who know what the fuck they're doing. I think it was the same showrunners who did Loki season 2, if I remember correctly, or maybe they're the ones that started. I think they're the ones that took over. I can't remember. Maybe someone in the chat knows and can tell me. But yeah. So what do we got going in the chat? Brandon says I can watch Wolves on my brother's account. He's in Thailand at the moment. He won't mind. He's cool that way. Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. It's a decent movie. Not like amazing or anything, but it's good. I had to leave and just come back. What show are you talking about? I was talking about Daredevil, Born Again. And Derek says, have you seen Black Mirror season 7? I have. You should check out my review for it. It's up on my channel. I fucking loved it. It's so far is my favorite show of the year. I think it's the best season of Black Mirror ever. And here's the thing, like, for the second year in a row, Alyssa's favorite episode is my least favorite episode. But it's different this time because for season 6, like, I hated that episode and Alyssa loved it. But this time I still like it. I still think it's a great episode. In fact, it's just I love every episode of the season and I love the others more. But I still love it. I still like it. So it's a little different. It's not like I think it totally sucks. But something I would have said to her, which I don't think I mentioned to her yet, but I was thinking it, is that it's actually a really good thing that we disagree on Black Mirror, because I think that the universe would explode if we agreed too much, because we always disagree on. That's the one show we consistently totally disagree with. I mean, we can agree from a couple episodes that we agree suck, or like the pig fucking one, we both think this sucks, and a couple episodes we really like, but in an individual season, we're never on the same page about certain episodes. And I was like, yeah, so I was thinking that's a good thing because the universe might explode. Like, I think there's other episodes that season that I liked better than her, like the Redream one with the black and white movie. I think she gave that a 7. I gave it a 10. So I definitely like that better. And also so I haven't ranked the episodes of Black Mirror yet. So let me do that, because people love to rank the episodes. I was going to do that in my video, but I forgot. So 6 is USS Callister into Infinity, which is the episode I was referring to. That's her favorite. It's my least favorite, but I still loved it. I still thought it was a fine adventure. It just didn't have that huge emotional impact that I feel like the other 5 episodes did. So that's number 6. Number 5 is the Common People one, which a lot of other people are putting at number 1 or 2. So I guess I'm different on that as well. I, again, still loved it. Still thought it was a great episode. It was really depressing. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek, though. Like, some of it I found kind of unrealistic. Oh, Will Ferrell, number 1. How's it going? Sorry. And yes, Brandon, don't worry. I am not giving away spoilers. I'm just talking about it vaguely in general. You don't have to mute me. I'm just saying the name of the episodes. If you've seen the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, it's not going to spoil anything for you. It's just telling you how I like it. That's all. But anyway, yes. So 5 is Common People. 4 would be the Bete Noir, which I love that ending. Again, no spoilers, don't worry. But I love the ending to that. That was like a really like tongue in cheek, but like in a good way. And I like the style of that episode too. How they would do the title cards with the day of the week, and they do like the organ horror music, like Wednesday. Like it's just really, really interesting. Sort of is the ultimate in fucking gaslighting in that episode. But anyway, so that was my number 4. Number 3 would be the, what's it called? The Hotel Reverie, the black and white one. And again, this is a 10 out of 10, so top 3 get a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't know. I was kind of doubting myself about giving this a 10 out of 10, but then I watched it again. I was like, no, it deserves it. It's kind of a weak 10 out of 10. It's like teetering between a 9 and a 10. But I thought I thought the ending was very emotional. Like I got a little choked up with it. And then 2 would be Plaything, and I think I'm completely different than everyone on this one, because I haven't seen anyone say it outright sucks, or maybe I saw one person say it outright sucked, but most people are like, this is one of my least favorite of the season. This one wasn't all that great. I think Alyssa gave it 8.5, which is still a good rating, but for me, it's a solid 10. Like, I fucking loved it. I loved it. This episode is kind of an unofficial, like, indirect is how I put it. It's like an indirect sequel to Bandersnatch. It's more of a spinoff, really, but it had that same feel to it. And like, again, the ending I thought was fucking amazing. Like, I think I went back and watched the ending like 5 times. And then my number 1 episode of the season is Eulogy, which, as I talked about in my review, like, I cried for a solid 15 minutes after watching this episode. Like, it really hit me. It was the Paul Giamatti gave an absolutely amazing performance. It was such a powerful episode. It's like, if it was a movie, it would be one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I think it, in my review, I said it's my second favorite episode of Black Mirror behind Bandersnatch, but I think I since changed my mind. It's my singular favorite episode of Black Mirror ever, and one of my favorite episodes of television, period. I've already watched that episode at least 3 times, and I've watched the ending by itself like 4 more times. And I cried like every single time. Yeah, but that first time I watched it, like, I was just sobbing like like uncontrollably for like a solid 15 minutes at the very least, and I was still crying a little bit when I tried watching episode 6. Like, I fucking love that episode. It was so good. So yeah, that's probably my favorite episode of the entire show. But yeah, that's my ranking. Where we, and again, not getting into spoilers, but it kind of, people are comparing it to episodes like Entire History of You, but the episode it kind of reminded me a bit of is not Black Mirror, what's it called? White Christmas. One of the storylines in White Christmas, the one with the convict dude that John Hamm is trying to get to confess, like his backstory, it reminded me of that a little bit, but not twisted. Like, not as like fucked up, and the guy wasn't like a murderer the way that the guy was in White Christmas. But I still got vibes from that storyline. But anyway, let's let's check back into the chat. Uh Let's see. Last Saturday night, you released Improbable Calls to Dice Cast Revisited at midnight. Did you release it when you got home from work? I was out playing games or partying and, well, hanging out with friends, I think is the way. I like to play board games with this group of friends, like a huge group of friends. Like it's, well, not all friends, but it's sort of like a meetup act, but friends with them, and we go hang out at bars afterward and do karaoke and stuff. So I got back from doing that because I was too busy in the daytime to upload it. So I did it when I got home. Yeah, and then Brandon saying no spoilers. I've only watched 1.5 episodes of Black Mirror season 7. And Tyler saying in season 6 the worst is season 6 the worst season of Black Mirror? I've never seen the show. I recently asked Alyssa what her least favorite season was. She said 5. How do you feel about that season? I think, yeah, season 6 is my least favorite. 5 would be second least. Season 5 only had 3 episodes in it, but season 6 had 5 episodes. And so that's the thing, and I talked about this in my review for Black Mirror, is that I loved that show, like especially season 4. I thought was amazing, but it's been season 4 came out in like 2017, so it's been like 7-8 years since a good season of Black Mirror came out, and that's why I wasn't really expecting much from this season. I was kind of like not that looking forward to it, and that's why I didn't even know it came out. Like Ricky had to message me and like, oh, by the way, Black Mirror came out, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll watch it. And he was like, oh, you're gonna review it, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like tossing it up because I had lost interest in Black Mirror. I thought it was going downhill. But then after I watched it, I was like, no, it's gotten back to what made the show great. Like, I think it was straying from that, particularly in season 6. Season 6 was more horror-ish. Like, it had 5 episodes, and 4 out of 5 were horror. Although 2 out of those 4 were kind of horror thriller, and that's the kind of stuff Black Mirror has always done. But it's just the fact that that's combined with all these horror episodes, plus 2 like supernatural horror episodes, which Black Mirror has never done before, and so it was just too horror-ish for me, and I'm not a huge fan of horror. One of those horror thriller episodes I loved was my favorite season of that episode of that season, but still, it was just, as the season as a whole, it was just too much horror, and I didn't really like the direction they went in. Where season 7, not only did they get back to the feel of the show that made it great, they did it better. Like, this is the best version of what the show has ever done. Like, easily my favorite. So if I were to rank the seasons, probably go season 7, season 4, and it's hard to say because seasons 1 and 2 only had 3 episodes. If I include White Christmas in season 2, which technically it was its own thing, but if I include it in season 2, then season 2 would be my next one, and then season 1, then season 3, which I don't like season 3 as much as other people do, and then season 5, and then season 6 at the bottom. That's how I'd rank it. Let's see. You're assuming there's only one universe, Mark. Oh, I can't remember what that's a reference to. When I said that, okay, so let me rephrase it. That if me and Alyssa agreed on Black Mirror, it would destroy this universe. Is that better, Brandon? Anyway, Common People is the only episode that I have completed. Yeah, that was a good episode. Will Ferrer, number 1. I consider the musical episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds a guilty pleasure. It does not take itself seriously and knew what it was doing. Yeah, nah, that's a hard pass for me. I know that it's not taking itself seriously, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's too like, oh, we're doing a musical episode. Like they got too caught up in the gimmick, and that's all it became. It's just a gimmick. It doesn't matter how I personally feel about musicals. Well, it kind of does because I hate musicals. But even if I didn't, like, it's just too much of a gimmick. It's just a gimmicky. Like, it's. I don't hate that episode just because I don't like musicals. I hate it just because it's too gimmicky, and it's like, oh, look at how silly we can be. And it kind of, that's why I don't think Strange New Worlds season 2 was as good as season 1. And that's Vulcan episode has me really concerned about season 3, but we'll see. The one that they sort of showed a scene from before. Have you ever seen a Problem Child 1, 2, or 3? I think I saw Problem Child 1 when I was a kid. It came out when I was like 11, 12 years old. And I thought it sucked. So I never bothered with the sequels and I never watched it again. So it's literally been decades since I've seen it. So I remember absolutely nothing about it other than I didn't like it. Norman Buckwald, hey, how's it going? I missed the notification. Whoops, yeah, no, I hate when that happens. Sometimes they don't notify you when the notification is supposed to. Let's see where we at now. You win, Mark, for now. Okay, I don't know what I win, but thank you. Norman saying, not a fan of the musical episodes. Songs were too long and most not catchy. At least it had continuity, forwarding plots. Here's the thing, I didn't even like most of the songs, like especially when they did like what's it called, the auto tune. Like, no, don't fucking do auto tune. Like, and like maybe I would have liked it better if they had better songs, but still, it's just like, I don't know, like a song of horror did was okay. Like this couple of the songs I thought like pushed the story forward, so it kind of worked for me, but still, it's like it was too gimmicky, and the plot was just a bunch of nonsense. It was just, oh, that's forcing us to sing. I did like that. It was kind of funny though when he did that one. Why are we singing? Like that was funny, but still, it's like it's still way too gimmicky for me. Brandon saying, I stopped watching Strange New Worlds after the musical episode. I think I'm not going to bother with. Come on, Brandon. It was just the one episode that was bad. The whole show doesn't suck now. Jeez. Norman saying, I still consider Klingons doing K-pop to be salamanders worthy. I don't get the reference. Salamanders worthy? What is that a reference to? But yeah, that was just too obviously silly. That was too obviously them trying to be like, oh, look at how ridiculous this is. Isn't this funny? I didn't hate it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Oh, Threshold. Okay. Well, that was the Threshold thing was totally different though, because this one they're purposely trying to be silly and dumb, whereas with the Threshold I don't think they were, which is what makes it funnier. What makes it so funny is that you could tell that the writers were like taking themselves seriously, and it's like what the actual fuck. Derek Taylor, do you play video games? If you do, what is your favorite? I do not play video games. I don't have the time. I don't know how people find the time. Like, I'm barely having enough time to do my YouTube channel. As people know, I'm cutting back on it because I just don't have enough time in the day, and it's just too much going on. I just don't have the time to play video games, and plus they're addictive, so I don't even want to start. Got a super chat from Brandon. Hey, thanks. It's going. You win $10 Oz dollars because I am testing out my new MasterCard. Well, thank you. Thank you. I won $10. I feel so proud now. The Last of Us Season 2, have you watched it? Well, there's only one episode of Season 2 so far, and yes, I have. I have watched it. I saw season 1 after it finished, so I binged it. But I decided, like, I was considering doing that for season 2, and I was like, I might as well watch it one episode at a time as it comes out. And a lot of people were like, I'm not as invested in that show as other people are. I'll tell you what, the first episode of season 2 just it had too many like Walking Dead vibes, and I'm still like kind of traumatized from that show and how terrible it was. And so that was my concern. That's why I didn't watch Last of Us at first, because I thought, oh, this is just going to be another Walking Dead. But when I did watch, I was like, no, actually, it's not. This is actually really good and totally different. But then watching that episode, it's like, this feels like Walking Dead. It does, which not a fan. And yet, Mark, I've seen you gaming on Discord. Well, that's so I play SimCity 4, which is a game from like 2000. I play that occasionally, every once in a while. But even that, I don't have time for, really. That's just a rare thing. Yeah. And yeah, that's the only game I would play, like the Sim. And I used to play the Sims all the time back in the day. But yeah, I don't play any sort of modern day video games. Will you be doing a review for Last of Us Season 2? No, I will not. Unless it turns out being absolutely amazing or something like that. No, I will not. I was considering doing a review for Black Mirror episode for 2 of the episodes of season 7, Eulogy and Plaything, which were my favorite 2, as I just said. Yeah, I'm considering doing because I want to dive deeper into these episodes than I did in my season-long review, because I realize I have a lot more to say about it, especially because when I first recorded the review was before I saw a lot of other people's reviews of those 2 episodes, because those 2 episodes came out later in the season, and most people would drop episode reviews one at a time starting at the beginning. So when I recorded my review, I'd basically only seen people's reviews for the first 3 episodes. And so I have more to say after hearing what other people said about it. And plus there's just a deeper dive I could get in, but only those 2 episodes. But then again, it's like I'm finding it hard to find time to do that. I really need to get on to more important life shit than this YouTube channel, unfortunately. And I'm already because I was sick for 2 weeks now, since bedridden. Well, it wasn't sick so much as I had a toothache, and I think people don't really take toothache seriously, and just this is some of the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I've had kidney stones before, which is, some people say, it was one of the most painful things you could go through, and this is up there with that. It was I could barely function, and I had this for a bit over 2 weeks, so I haven't really had time to do anything for 2 weeks straight, and so I'm behind on everything, trying to get caught up on the YouTube channel, but at the same time, I got other more important shit I need to be doing, so I just don't have time anymore. Let's see. And that's why I don't play video games. See, Brandon saying Strange New Worlds, no, mate, I've canceled my Paramount Plus. That's a good thing. Well, you're going to watch the next season. You can always get it back. Let's see. Did you watch the trailer for Strange New World Season 3? Do you watch the clips that were released several months ago? They released the first scene of Season 3. Yeah, I just referenced that, the scene with the Vulcans. That was shit. It does not have me that excited about Season 3, but I did see the trailer, which was a bit better. It does seem like they're having a holodeck episode, and they're doing other sorts of weird shit. So I'm still a bit iffy. Season 1 of Strange New Worlds was so good, but it seems like they're getting too caught up in trying to do weird and different shit and be too gimmicky, and I think that could be their downfall. This could be end up being a show like Lost or Game of Thrones, where season one was the best. Although I actually don't think Game of Thrones season one was the best. I think season four was, but other people do. But yeah, it has the risk of being front heavy if they can't get their shit together. But hopefully, I hope that they will. Let's see. Brandon says, and then there's the insomnia. Yes, yeah, true. Insomnia sucks. I had several tooth pain a couple times. I have TMJ. I have to sleep with the mouth guard. Yeah, I should be using a mouth guard too. I'm not sure what TMJ is though. Yeah, they couldn't save the tooth. I went in to have a root canal. But it was shattered, so they had to remove it. And so that sucked, and that caused even more pain when they took it out because it was hard to get out. They were having to like yank it, and so like my whole jaw was sore for like a week. I'm just getting over that now. So it was almost a good 3 weeks that I had this problem. Brandon said I'm a total coward when it comes to pain. Yeah, I get that. And Tyler says, have you had your wisdom teeth removed? How painful was that? I had mine removed, and I felt fine. Oh, I had it removed when I was like 19, and yeah, I don't remember it being all that painful, actually. Like, they put me to sleep for it when they did it. I heard some people, they don't. I'm glad that they knocked me out. I wish they would put me to sleep for this root canal. Like, I had it done in the past, but this dentist wouldn't do it, and so it was very uncomfortable. He was like, "Oh, some people fall asleep while I'm doing the root canal," and I was like, "You're causing me pain. You got my jaw like popped wide open unnaturally. I can't swallow my saliva. I feel like I'm gonna choke." And plus, you're making a ridiculous loud noise, like how the fuck could anyone possibly sleep through that? That's why I want to tell him every time. He's like, "Oh, some of my patients fall asleep." I want to be like, "How?" Like, without you giving them, like, you want to give me some laughing gas or whatever to put me to sleep. Go for it, but otherwise, there's no fucking, like, how can anyone fall asleep for that? But anyway, so uncomfortable. Let's see. The Norman saying, I'm trying to skip the trailers now if I can help it. Did see the Vulcan skit, which was not good, let alone spoil those who still lives. Yeah, I mean, the season 2 trailer spoiled that number 1 was fine, that she's back in Starfleet. So I'm not surprised that they spoiled who still lives. I think I mean, if you watch that scene, you should watch the trailers, because the trailers might give you a better sort of outlook, because it's better than that scene. How about For All Mankind? Have you seen that show? Also, Discovery Channel Mars. What, I don't know what Discovery Channel Mars is, so no. I have no interest in seeing For All Mankind, to be honest, because I'm just not interested in like 60s astronauts. And from what I hear, it's like they get into the later time periods, and it's like an alternate reality, so it's like more futuristic in their version of the alternate timeline. But I'm still not interested in it. Like, I know Ronald D. Moore did it, but Ronald D. Moore did Outlander, and Outlander sucked. So it's like, that's not a big pull for me. And I don't know. Everyone says it's great, but I don't know. I was thinking about maybe watching it when I had Apple, but I just didn't have the time. I was also going to watch Foundation, and I didn't have the time. I just never got around to it. Now I don't have Apple anymore because Severance season 2 finished. Yeah, I just didn't have time to watch any of these shows. I watched Silo, which I loved. That's the only other show I watched when I had Apple. Silo is great. I'm gonna get Apple again when season 3 comes out. That was a great show. Let's see. Are the two worst musical moments in Star Trek when Sisko sang with Vic Fontaine and when Girardi sang with the Borg Queen? Yes. Yes, to answer your question. I think, and even as much as I hate Cisco singing with Vic, and I hate that a lot, it still doesn't hold a candle to Girardi singing as the Borg Queen. Like, that is the worst scene in all the entire Star Trek franchise, hands down. Like, that whole season is the worst season of the entire Star Trek franchise, hands down. Like, talking about stuff I disagree with Alyssa on, she'll say, "Oh, you can't really compare it because there's only like how many episodes are there? Like 10 episodes, I believe. Oh, there's only 10 episodes. You can't compare it to a 25 episode season." Like, I totally disagree. I would rather watch 25 episodes of TNG season 1 than those 10 episodes of fucking Picard season 2. Like, any day of the week. I'd rather watch TNG season 1, TNG season 2, Enterprise season 1, Enterprise season 2, and Voyager season 3. I'd rather watch all 5 seasons in a row, be forced to watch them, than watch Picard season 2. Like, Picard season 2 is, I don't care if it's shorter, it's terrible. It's so fucking bad. By the way, where is it? I now have it on Blu-ray. So time's gonna come where I'm going to watch it again eventually. It's gonna happen at least once because it have to. It's obligated. But yeah, I felt kind of obligated to get it on Blu-ray because I'm trying to get all those Star Trek shows. Um, but I might watch season 1 had some good episodes and season 3 had some good episodes, so I might watch those. But yeah, it's going to avoid watching season 2. But yeah, I'm a completionist. I wanted to get them all on Blu-ray. Also got Discovery. Got them both for my birthday. I've only watched a couple like special features of Discovery. Again, not that huge into it. One of these days I'll rewatch the whole thing. Because Brandon, you talked about canceling Paramount Plus. Well, so did I. That's my goal. That's why I have all of the Star Trek shows on Blu-rays or DVD, so I don't need Paramount Plus, unless, of course, when they have a new season come out, then I'll watch it. But otherwise, I would just cancel it because I was watching Yellow Jackets on it. But now that that's done, I think I kind of wasted my money to watch that, to be honest. But and I also got Lower Decks on Blu-ray, and that's the one I've actually been watching. I went and they had a bunch of commentaries on episodes. I went and been watching all these commentaries, and that's been fun. And I've actually went back and started rewatching Lower Decks as a whole, which is a lot easier to do because they're like 20-minute episodes. So I could just watch one a night and while I eat dinner or something like that. Yeah, and I watch all the bonus features and the commentary. Lower Decks is great. I fucking love it. I think Lower Decks is easily my favorite modern Trek show. Yeah, I said Strange New Worlds at one point, but the more I think about it now, it's Lower Decks. And Picard is my least favorite Star Trek show, period. Like, of the whole franchise. Yet I still got it on Blu-ray. But the thing that annoyed me though about the Blu-ray for Lower Decks is that they had commentary on, like, whenever they had the big like guest star episode, they would get the guest star to come in. Like in season 1, when Riker shows up, they got Jonathan Frakes to come in and do I think it was season 2 actually, when Boimler's over in the Titan. Maybe it was at the season 1 finale and in season 2. I can't remember. They got Jonathan Frakes. They actually got Jonathan Frakes to come back for season 3 when they had the first contact episode with Zephyr Cochrane. And they went to the Bozeman, Montana. It was an amusement park. They got him to come back for that, even though Riker's not even in the episode, but it was, he directed First Contact and they were referencing First Contact. And they got Robert Duncan McNeil to come do the commentary for when they had the Nick Locarno episode. And, they always, when they had a big guest star, they would have them come in. And when, like Brent Spiner came in to do the commentary for the episode in season 5. And what really annoyed the fuck out of me is the Fissure Quest episode where they had all those guest stars. They had freaking, they could have took their pick. They could have had Alexandra Zadig, Jolene Blaylock, Harry Kim, Garrett Wong. He does the podcast. He would have loved to do commentary. You could have any of them do the commentary, but they didn't even have a commentary for that episode. When I saw that, I was like, what? Like, how could you, like, they did a commentary for the Upper Decks episode. Like, who gives a fuck about that episode? That episode was useless. Why you have a commentary for that and not one for Fissure Quest? Like, that made zero sense to me. And that really annoyed the hell out of me. And they didn't even have a special feature about Fissure Quest. They had it about some other episodes. Like, but I just don't get it. Like, why would you skip that episode? Like, that was the most, like, beloved episode. It had all these guest stars. I thought it was a little bit overrated, but still, it's like, yeah. But anyway, let's see what the chat's saying. Let's see. Norman's saying, I'm told when I can finally solve the Apple ID riddle, it keeps claiming to send to my iPod and I never get anything. Severance and For All Mankind are both on Apple. Yeah, Severance is amazing, but you should also watch Silo. Silo is great. Aaron agrees, saying loving Silo. Yeah, I think that's a great show. No one's saying I like Shadows of the Night, but no, I never heard of that. Is that a game? Maybe, I don't know. So Norman also said Picard season 2 was awful, and I still contend character assassinated Q and Rios. What character assassinated anyway? Here's the thing about Picard, and this is why I think it's the worst show of Star Trek of the entire franchise. Is that they introduced all these main characters, but they never fleshed them out. They never felt like characters who were realistic, who you cared about. I never cared about any of them except for Dodge, but they killed her off in the first episode. And I never really cared about any of them, and then they just got rid of all of them except for the one character I really didn't like, Raffi, and they kept her around. And then, of course, Picard season 2 was a nightmare. Season 1 was terrible pacing and only had a few good episodes, and it was a bit ridiculous. And then season 3 was just, I don't always agree with Steve Shives, and I'm similar to Alyssa on this, but I loved his description. Like, the title of his review of Picard season 3 was "To Serve Fan." So play off the Twilight Zone episode to serve man. Instead it was to serve fan. It's a perfect way to describe Picard season 3. It was just fan service. That's all it was. There was some interesting, like, I love the Roe episode. That's easily my favorite thing, and I love that they finally resolved her storyline. But other than that, like, I mean, there's some good stuff about it, like the changelings, I suppose, but those final 2 episodes of the season just completely fucking ruined it. They just ruined it. And the more I look back on season 3 of Picard as a whole, the more I think it was a total failure. And yeah. There's one other thing I want to talk about, but let me get back to the chat for a second. Picard to bottom of all Star Trek, 100%. Oh, JKman99 showed up. Hey, how's it going? The thing about Picard is that the whole time it was really hard to judge it because I was so excited that it existed, if that makes sense. Yeah, I was too at first until I saw that it wasn't particularly good. Anyway, Brennan, MFT, for real about canceling Paramount. Plus. Yeah, I did. I had it canceled before. I re-got it when Lower Decks came out, and I was going to cancel again when Lower Decks finished. But then I was watching Yellow Jackets. But now that that's finished, I canceled it, and I'll probably get it again when Strange New Worlds come on. But yeah, that's why I got all the Star Trek on Blu-ray and DVDs for the ones that aren't on Blu-ray, DS9 and Voyager. Because that way I can watch them without having Paramount Plus. And plus, I just think I noticed that the quality is better on disc, on Blu-ray and DVD. Like, people talk about how the quality of DS9 and Voyager sucks because it's not high definition, it's standard definition. I honestly can't tell that much of a difference, but I can tell the difference between streaming and not streaming. Like, the DVD is definitely better quality than the streaming. And also, the major thing I love to point out is the episode Past Tense from Deep Space Nine. The scene where Kira and O'Brien go back to the 60s. If you watch it on DVD, you'll hear Jimi Hendrix, Joe, which is the song that played when the episode first aired and when it aired on the reruns. But if you watch it on streaming, you hear random shitty guitar because they must have lost the rights to it for streaming. Like, they didn't have the rights. And I was like, that fucking sucks. So it's shit like that is why I prefer watching it on DVD. Let's see. Norman 1 and 2, Boimler on Titan. Aaron saying, quite a nice surprise for Frakes to show up. Yep, indeed. Derek, the ending of The Leftovers. Do you think she really went to the other side? I think she did. Wow, I saw that show fucking ages ago. That's taking me back. Yeah, I think she did as well. I originally had another theory that proved to be completely wrong. Yeah, I think she did. It's meant to be ambiguous, though, so there's no real answer. It's up to the individual, I guess. But I think she did. I think it's better if she did. It's more interesting to me if she actually did. But anyway, I know that, it's fucking Damon Lindelof. He likes to do his pretentious wankery. It's up to you. But, it's funny. I like to give Lindelof shit about being pretentious, but I love all of his shows. So I just still am somehow annoyed by some of his pretentious nature. J. Kamen 99, would you like to see either Star Trek Legacy or live action Prodigy and Lower Decks in the 25th century? I don't need a live action Prodigy or Lower Decks. I need more Lower Decks. I mean, it might be interesting to do a live action Lower Decks movie, I suppose. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but just do it animated. It's cheaper. I don't know if I want Legacy. If Terry Matalas is going to be the showrunner, because it's just going to be stupid fancy. I am more convinced, more than ever, not to ever watch the show 12 Monkeys, because at first I refused to watch it because that's my favorite movie of all time. And I saw the commercials, the advertisements for the show, and it looked like they turned it into a cheap syndicated sci-fi action show, which is not what the movie was. And I was so disgusted. You hear about people being like, oh, they ruined my movie with the reboots. And I never felt this way about any other thing before. Well, maybe Star Trek with the Abrams reboots. But for the most part, I never really felt this way about any reboot. I was like, I don't give a shit if they reboot it. But I was so disgusted. In fact, I tried to give it a shot. I was watching the first episode. I got maybe 2 minutes in. All I saw was the opening credits. And I just had this feeling in my gut, in my pit, that was completely disgusted. What the fuck are you doing watching this? And I couldn't do it. Now, after seeing what Terry Matalas did, I'm glad I never watched it. I'm sure I would have been utterly disgusted with it. But anyway, let's see. Norman's saying, what Girardi was singing Pat Benatar's Shadows of the Night. Oh yeah, of course. Um Brandon, I liked Dodge. Yes, she was much better than Soji. And bad fan service at that. 100%. 100%. Like, who needs a fucking ship museum? Like, that was so fan servicey. It had nothing to do with the goddamn plot. Fucking, oh, look, it's Voyager. Fuck off. It's a ship from Star Trek 4! Anyway, Tyler's saying Strange New World Season 3 will have its world premiere on June 14th. Hopefully, its premiere on Paramount Plus soon after, maybe on the 19th or 26th. Good to know. I was not aware of that. Yeah. Norman, Digital Copyright Millennial Act, sad face. What is that referring to? Oh, it's referring to the stupid fucking past tense. Yeah. Brendan, hey Joe, truly cool AF. Like, you've never seen that version of past tense with Hey Joe? Like, I guess if you've only seen it on streaming, or maybe you just don't remember. Yeah, I remember watching it in the 90s when it first aired, and I distinctly, well, of course, I taped it off the TV and watched it repeatedly, so that's going to help me remember that it was Jimi Hendrix. So I remember the first time I ever watched it on streaming, I was like, what the fuck is this? When they were doing like the random like back guitar, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I usually watched it on DVD, because I've always had it on DVD. Well, not always, but since the early 2000s, I've had it on DVD. So once I had it on videotape, and once I got rid of the videotape, I got it on DVD. So I never really watched it on streaming services unless one time I was being lazy and didn't want to get out my DVD, and I was watching it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, it's the Bluetooth connected fleet that really annoyed me. What is that a reference to? I don't remember it, no, but my short-term memory is failing. Well, fair enough. My short-term memory is failing too, because I thought of something that I wanted to talk about, and I was like, I was in the middle of reading these comments, and I should have wrote it down because I don't remember what the fuck it was now. Yeah, that sucks. I was like, ooh, I should talk about this, but then, no, I don't remember what this was. I don't even know what it had to do with. Something about Star Trek. No, it's not coming to me. Maybe something I heard on YouTube that I was going to argue with. I think that's what it was, but I can't remember what it was now. Picard, where Admiral Bitchface links all the Starfleet ships together. The sheer fucking hubris. Oh wait, you're thinking of season 3 though. Are you talking about who's Admiral Bitchface then? Is that Shelby? Yeah, I don't know. I thought Admiral Bitchface was the one who said sheer fucking hubris. Yeah, here's the thing though, like, and I went through this when I was reviewing Discovery and Picard. When people complain about them using the F word, I'm like, fuck right off. Like, the only reason, like, you're not supposed to use curse words in Star Trek, but realistically, the only reason that didn't use curse words in Star Trek is because it aired on network TV or syndicated TV, but still, it aired on regular TV, and they weren't allowed to use the F word. Now they're on streaming. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And I think it makes perfect sense. I actually personally liked when what's her face Tilly was like, it's so fucking cool, like to fit her character. They made all the sense in the world. And I don't know, I kind of wish that they didn't bleep Lower Decks because Mariner curses all the time, but they bleep it. I was hoping that the Blu-ray would have a version that's unbleeped, but it didn't, which really disappointed me. Like, what's that one episode where I can't remember which episode, maybe someone in the chat remembers this, but there's one episode where she was like, went on like a cursing like spree. She was just like saying fuck every other word. Admiral Clancy, was that the sheer fucking hubris one? I think it was. But I'm trying to remember like which episode that was where she was like literally saying fuck every other word, but they were bleeping it out, but you could tell that's what she was saying. And she's like, oh, what the fuck? Fuck this and fuck that. And I was like, yeah. I like to pretend she's Admiral Nechayev who said the hubris line. Oh, no. Fuck Admiral Nechayev. Like, I didn't really have a problem with Admiral Clancy as much. Oh, yeah. Didn't later in the season, she was like, told Picard, she's like, shut the fuck up. But Admiral Nechayev just sucked at her job. She wanted Picard to commit genocide. She's like, please, I order you next time to commit genocide. Like, that's Admiral Nechayev. And plus, she didn't take the Maquis seriously. She's like, oh yeah, they're just a bunch of dumb hotheads. Just deal with them. And Sisko's like, deal with them? What the fuck does she think I'm doing? Like, that would have been a good time for the F-bomb. For Sisko could have for sure dropped the F-bomb several times if this show wasn't aired on TV. I actually thought that was who it was in Picard season 3. No, it wasn't. It was Shelby. Someone different. Clancy wasn't in season 3. I think she was only in season 1. Because of the sheer fucking humor. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these complaints people have about Modern Trek, I just think are dumb. Like the curse word complaint, I think is dumb. And of course, the whole too woke complaint, like that's just hilariously dumb. And I see all these memes on Facebook all the time of like making fun of people who are calling modern Star Trek woke, and like showing pictures of like, Dax doing the lesbian kiss in Deep Space Nine, or like the what do they call the Sharon, or the black on one side, white on the other side from the original series and stuff like that. I was like, or saying something like, oh, when did Star Trek become all woke? And like 1966. Thanks for playing. Like, that was my favorite one. And then I read some of the comments, and some people actually try to argue with that and be like, well, Star Trek wasn't woke before this. It's actually, and I was like, here's the thing. So there's especially if you go from the 60s to the 90s to the present day, it is more diverse. But the only reason it wasn't as diverse as it is now, is because it wasn't allowed to be by the networks. Like, the only reason you didn't see gay couples, because Roddenberry tried to do it like in the 90s and got shut down by Rick Berman. And George Takei wanted Roddenberry to do it in the 60s, and he was like, look, I'm barely getting away with doing what I'm doing. I would love to, but there's no way the networks would allow me to do it. And so, and also, like, I could go on a whole rant about this. Like, it pisses me off when people are like, because I went to college, I went to university to study media studies, and I studied all the different sort of ways of reading the media and like reading into it. Really, for a while there, it kind of ruined movies for a while, because I started to like pick up all this like slight subliminal messages, or even intentional or not. And when I hear these people talk about oh, they're trying to get the message that the men are stupid and the women are in charge. It's like amateur, like is amateurish readings. It's from people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like this is what I hate to sound like all pretentious and I'm knowledgeable, but seriously, like this is what I studied in college. And these are amateurish morons who are just doing one particular read of it and ignoring like the rest of the reads. It pisses me off. And I was thinking of doing like a whole video on this one day, but the whole thing about Strange New Worlds has all women characters. I'm like, and they always say, oh, it's not because I'm racist, it's not because I'm sexist, it has nothing to do with that. That's deflecting. But you're basically saying that the default is having white men characters. Like you're okay with TNG in the original series diversity because the main three characters were white men. So, and you're saying that's the default. And to not have the default, to have the main character be a black woman and have mostly women on the bridge, that's the unusual. That's woke. You're trying to be political. You're trying to send messages, but having all white men on there, that's not political, and that's not trying to send messages. That's not how it fucking works. Right? And plus, that's a bigoted way of looking at it because it's assuming the default is to have all white men. And you're allowed some diversity, but if you have too much, then you're woke. And here's the thing, most of these fucking woke, like anti-woke commenters, they know better. They're just doing it to get views. Like they don't, and that's why they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they're not meant to. Like it's just a way for them to make money. And there was I saw a great video from this guy who used to be like anti-SJW, but then he realized, like, he reformed and realized that the anti-woke crowd is worse than he thought that the SJWs were, because his problem with the SJWs was that they got mad over every little thing, but then he realized that's what the anti-woke crowd has become, that they get mad at every little thing. They purposely seek out media and try to find shit to bitch about and call it woke so they can make money. And it was great because he took two examples of like movies that these same people will say are amazing, and they always say like, oh, you say I'm against strong female characters, but you're wrong, because I love Aliens and I love Terminator, but the only reason you do love those movies is because they're old. You grandfathered them in. And he pointed out correctly that if those movies came out today, that these same people were totally ripping their shreds. Oh my God, this is so woke. They're doing this sequel of Terminator, and they're making Sarah Connor, they're getting rid of her femininity, and they're making her into a muscle woman, and she's like fighting all these people, and it's so woke. And then, like, he broke down like both Terminator 2 and Aliens and said exactly how these anti-woke would totally destroy those movies if they came out today. And is 100% correct. And I would never sell out like that. Like, if I wanted to, I could try to sell out and make money that way. But my morality would never let me do that. But anyway, that's my rant over for that. Let's see, what else have we got going on in the chat? Brandon saying, have you watched the Captain's documentary, and what did you think of it? Years ago, I didn't think much of it. I don't even remember it very well. It's kind of boring, especially when they're interviewing Avery Brooks and he's just sitting there fucking around on the piano. Brandon saying, feel better now, Mark? Yes, I do. It's good to vent every once in a while. But anyway, yeah, they're just amateurish. They don't know what the fuck they're actually talking about. Jesus Christ. And you know what? I can think now. I'm back on the subject, but I don't always agree with what the sort of so-called woke. Yeah, I hate using that word, but the the people who have complaints about how some modern movies or modern TV come off as a bit racist or sexist. I don't always agree with them either. By the way, sometimes I do think they take it too far, but I'm never gonna say that they're woke. And I think the anti-woke crowd that attacks them are still fucking wrong. Like, yeah, I disagreed with the backlash behind Iron Fist because that's how the character in the comic books was portrayed this way. And so I think the backlash around that character was a bit ridiculous. Like, they're just being comic accurate. I mean, they could switch it up. Like, I wouldn't mind if they did. I wouldn't call it woke if they did, but they're not obligated to. Um, but yeah, so yeah, some of these backlash I disagree with, but for the most part, like, I think sometimes Jessie Gender can take it a little bit too far, but for the most part, I totally agree with her on most things, especially J.K. Rowling. Like, fuck her, but it's something else entirely. All right, where else was I? Norman Buckwald, Star Trek woke since 1966. Exactly. Brendan, Admiral Bitchface is my nickname for Ned Chael. Yeah, that's what I thought. When you said Bitchface, that's what made me think of Ned Chael, first of all. Yeah, that needs to be my shirt. It's what we're here for. Well, thank you. Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was that I was going to talk about. I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. I've been meaning to talk about this, and now I can't fucking remember. Yeah, it wasn't the rant about the interrogator. J.K. Rowling is an online troll. Yeah, that's definitely, she's gotten worse. And yeah, that's essentially what she is. Do you see not John Oliver with Last Week Tonight? He did this this segment on trans athletes, and it was so good. And he like totally like made fun of J.K. Rowling's and God, yeah, he made such good points. And of course, J.K. Rowling's and other people like that attacked him for it, and it was like, ooh, and it was like, oh, what she said was like, read the room. Can't you see everyone disagrees with you? And my point was, it doesn't fucking matter if it's popular. It's right. He speaks up for what's right, regardless of whether or not it's popular. Yeah, John Oliver is great. I love him. Are you getting ready for Andor season 2? Okay, so I don't know what I need to do to get ready. Do I have to like boil some tea? Do I need to buy certain clothes? I'm sorry, I'm just being sarcastic. But I don't know if you remember how I feel about Andor season 1, or if you ever heard, but I was not a fan. I didn't hate it, but I thought it was one of the most overrated seasons of television ever. It's probably the second most overrated season of television behind Westworld season 1. Because it was boring mostly. Like it was like 12 episodes long, and it should have been 6 episodes long. Like I detailed in my review how they could have, like 6 of the episodes were unnecessary. They had the whole storylines, like the one about that dude who worked for the Empire who was like eating breakfast cereal with his mother or whatever. Like, why the fuck is that character even there? Like, I could not give 2 shits about him. And I was kind of pissed off to see him in the trailer for Andor season 2 because I don't care. Like, I don't care about him. As much as people like the prison storyline, which, you know, it was interesting. I was into it. It had good commentary, but it was totally unnecessary. It's complete diversion. Like, they could have cut it out entirely. Like, I think that season should have been 6 episodes instead of 12. They literally could have cut out half the shit, and it would have been a much better season. But here's my hope, though. I am hopeful for Andor season 2, and I'll tell you why. because I heard that originally the plan was to do 4 seasons of Andor, but Disney is only letting them do 2. And so they did season 1 the way that they originally planned, which means they're going to have to cram 3 seasons worth of story into 1 season. And I'm like, good. It might actually be good now. It might actually not be boring and waste time and have unnecessary plot lines now that they're forced to be more concise. So I think that's a good thing. And so I might like it better because of it, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know who Paul Heyman is, so can't tell you if I like him or not. God, what what else? Oh, snapped out for a moment. Yeah, hour and a half, so might be ending the stream pretty soon. Here, I want to know what the fuck I was going. I know I'm gonna remember what I was gonna say like once the stream's over and it's too late. And I don't want to make a whole video about it. I just want to mention it in a stream like this, and I can't remember. I should have wrote it down. God, but I'm sure it had something to do with Star Trek and something to do with something I heard that I disagreed with. I disagree with Robert Duncan McNeil a lot, and I've been listening to the Delta Flyers podcast as I've been going through Deep Space Nine and Voyager. I surpassed them on Deep Space Nine, but because I slowed down, I'm not getting that further ahead of them. In fact, they may catch up to me again because I'm doing Voyager at the same time, and I'm only doing 2 episodes a week, and I'm going to have a break in between seasons, and they're going steady like 1 a week, so they might catch back up to me again, perhaps, maybe not, I don't know. But now I'm doing Voyager, which they recorded like 4 or 5 years ago during the pandemic. But I'm listening to it for the first time as I'm going through season 1 of Voyager. And yeah, I disagree with I'm starting to disagree with Robbie Duncan McNeil a lot because he didn't like Civil Defense, which is one of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine. I fucking love Civil Defense. He didn't like Jatrell from Voyager season 1, which I fucking love that episode. I think that's easily one of the best Voyager episodes. But it's mainly those 2 actually, because he didn't like Learning Curve, but I didn't really like it either. So I kind of actually agree with him on that one. But God, where else are we? See. As soon as you get off air. Yep, that's correct. As soon as I get off air, I'm going to remember it. Paul Heyman is a wrestling manager in I don't watch WWE. I haven't watched wrestling since I was a kid, since the 80s. So no. And I have no interest in wrestling whatsoever. So no, I'm not going to know who that is. Norman saying, for me, I remember what I was trying to remember or discuss with someone, etc., like at 2 a.m. Yeah. No, that happens to me sometimes too. Well, that narrows it down. Something to do with yeah, I know. I know. That's the problem I'm having. Like, and yeah, God, what the fuck was it though? And I'm not even sure it had to do with Star Trek. I'm just kind of certain, like leaning that way, that it had something to do with Star Trek. I'm not a big fan of Detrell, Palaxia from Talaxia. Norman, yes, 3 a.m. for me. I love Detrell. Yeah, it seems like Stephen Kennedy didn't like Detrell either. It seems like there's a lot of people who don't like Detrell. Why not? I think it's fucking good. I think maybe I didn't like it quite as much as I used to. Like, I don't know if I put it in the top, because I think I put it in the top 10 of Voyager episodes before. Not sure I'd still do that. Maybe it was more like top 20. Like, yeah, I called it my favorite episode of season 1. I haven't recorded my ranking in the episodes of season 1 of Voyager yet, but I'm pretty sure that Detrell is going to land as like my number 2 or 3. I think I might actually put like Prime Factors and Eye of the Needle higher than it, but It's still up there. I still think it's a really great episode. I think it's the best Neelix episode. I think it's the good episode for Neelix and Kes. See, I'm the weirdo. Literally, nobody else likes this Neelix and Kes relationship. It's just me. Because they rightfully focus on the episodes where Neelix is being a jealous dick, and I fucking hate those episodes too. But I think the relationship works in other episodes, like Dutrell. I think Dutrell is like the best episode for their relationship. It comes off like really strong in that episode for me. I can't watch Dutrell now without thinking of the Lower Decks episode Tuvix. Oh yeah, well, why? Why Dutrell? What did Tuvix have to do with Dutrell? I know the episode Tuvix mentioned the Neelix cheese, but that wasn't in Dutrell. That was in Learning Curve. Was there something else in Dutrell that they mentioned in Tuvix? I don't remember. I haven't gotten to that episode yet in my rewatch. I think I watched the commentary for it, but when I'm watching commentary, I'm not like paying any attention to the episode because people are talking over it. So, but yeah, and I don't even remember if they did have a commentary for it. I'm pretty sure they did. But yeah, it's been a while since I watched that episode. Properly. Geez, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give up on trying to remember what it was that I was gonna say. God damn it! I was like, "Ooh, this is a good thing to talk about." Let's see if anything people are saying jars my memory. No. No, it's not coming to me. No. Not gonna think of it. I'm just waiting to get Brandon's answer on what the trial has to do with Tuvix. But other than that, I think yeah, gonna call it a night. It's getting yeah, like hour and 45 minutes, so close to the 2 hour mark, which is pretty long enough. Tuvix is the episode where they put different members of the crew through transporter and make new creatures. Oh yeah, so having that's similar to them trying to bring back people with the transporter. I get it, but it never made me think of Dutrell. And made me think of Tuvix, which is the obvious comparison that they're going for. But yeah, I don't know. Like I was listening to Mike McMahon talk about that episode, and he was saying that he seemed to be more. I don't know. He didn't say that he liked the episode Tuvix, but it seemed to be implied that he did, which is why I'm really iffy about it because that episode's terrible. I don't want any commentary on anything saying that episode's good. But they're talking about like the debate on whether or not they want to portray the real life debate that fans have on whether or not Janeway was justified, and transplant it into into the Star Trek setting. And so they're having like T'Lyn and Tendi have that debate between each other, but T'Lyn wins because eventually it becomes like a big blob, and Tendy's like, well, yeah, this is not sentient. You can go ahead and put it back and put everyone back the way they should. But my stance on that is that I'm against the entire debate. I think the entire debate is a misnomer because Tuvix is not killed. He's just not. He's returned to his original form. And he's not really a unique person. He's just a combination of Tuvok and Neelix. and you can't kill him any more than you kill the new Tuvok in the episode Riddles, who was became a totally different person, totally different personality, like not at all the same person. They gave him surgery to put him back the way he was, so you could say, "Oh, that killed that version of Tuvok," but it didn't really. It was just reverting him back to where he was, and this is like a combination of Tuvok and Neelix, and revert to the way they should be. That's not killing. Now it is like if they phrased it the same way they phrased Riddles as, "Oh, this is a surgery I don't want to undergo. I like being the way I am. I don't want to go back to being the way I was." Then that would have made sense. But to have him going around going, "I want to live," like that was so melodramatic. Like I think it's like laughably bad. Like I laugh out loud. Like it boggles my mind that people can watch that scene and like think it's good drama and think, "Oh wow, this is such a good moral dilemma. This is really boggling the mind. This is great drama." To me, it is like The Room. It's like, "Oh, hi, Mark." It's like laughably bad. It's so bad that it's hilarious. It's so terrible. It's like over the top melodrama where he's all of a sudden being like, "Oh, they're killing me." I'm like, calm the fuck down, man. They're just doing surgery on you to put you back the way you were. Like, fuck. Anyway. Brandon's saying it really swings. Yeah, that's yeah. Tuvok says, and yeah, Riddles is a good episode. Riddles is definitely a good episode. I think that is a little bit underrated. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and I did the old Tuvix rant, which I've done on my channel so many times. So many times. I'm sure it's nothing new to all of you watching. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it all up. Maybe if I remember what I was going to say, I'll put it in the comments, I suppose. Because I can't fucking remember what I was going to say. So, yeah. Hour and 45 mark. That's about it for me. Getting a bit tired. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye now. Yeah, Aaron, thanks so much for joining. It was great. Yeah, great to have everyone. Brandon, Norman, Tyler here. I think he left now, but yeah, everyone who was here. And Derek, everyone who was here asking questions. Welfare on number 1. Yeah, thanks for popping in, saying hello, joining me on this Friday night. It seemed like Friday was a decent time because I think last time I did these live solo stream, like I wasn't very impressed with how many people showed up. I think it was like just 1 or 2 people. I think it was just Brandon, and I think I did it like on a Monday night. So maybe Friday is a better alternative than Monday. But yeah. That's it for me. Well, okay. So the last thing I was going to say was that when I was talking about ridiculous melodrama, I just watched the episode Learning Curve, where Tuvok goes up to the Dolby guy, and Dolby's like, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm just fixing this repair," and Tuvok's like, "Oh, you are not authorized to do this," and then he's like, "Wow, pardon the fuck out of me!" Like starts yelling at him, and getting right in his face. It's like, whoa, like that escalated like so quickly. That went from like 0 to 100. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" To "Fuck you, Tuvok." I was like, Jesus Christ, man. That episode sucked. You'll see that in my review for it. It was very poor writing. It was a good idea, like to show how the Maquis were integrated in the crew, but it should have been done like episode 3 of the season, not the season fucking finale. But and it was just written. It was executed like so badly, and the actor who played Dolby was not good. But anyway, just Brandon. Oh, okay, Brandon, you're awesome. It's good to have you, but it's also good to have more than just you. Sorry. Nice to have more people to talk to. Anyway, now is really it for me now. I'll see everyone later. Yeah, just keep an eye out on my channel. I'll keep up with the with the Star Trek reviews and whatnot, and might do those 2 reviews for those 2 Black Mirror episodes. Maybe. I'm not going to guarantee that because it's hard to throw in more videos than what I'm already doing because I'm already doing too much. But anyway, see y'all later. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.